بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، كل محدثة بدعة، كل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. We continue inshallah tonight with the history of Al-Andalus, and we reach the year 300 Hijri, يعني about 919, the year 919. And we said the situation in Al-Andalus at that time, many revolutions happening everywhere. And we said the biggest of all was in Barnata by Amr bin Hafsun or Samuel, as we said. Said the central government was in Qurtuba, and some villages or suburbs around it, and that constituted of 1/10 of the whole land, 1/10 of Al-Andalus. We said there were the establishment of 3 Christian kingdoms in the north: Aragon, Leon, and Navarre. And these kingdoms even started attacking the northern part of Al-Andalus, and they took, even they occupied a city called Salim, or Salim, that is between Madrid and Saragossa, Sarfast. Al-Amir Abdullah bin Muhammad, the last Amir, died this year, the year 300. And we said the one who was supposed to come after him was his son, Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Muhammad. And that was killed by his brother, Mutarrif bin Abdullah, as we mentioned before. So the next person who was supposed to become the Amir of Al-Andalus, or now we're talking mainly about Qurtuba, was his son. Okay, and that kid was only 3 weeks old. So obviously, who could not be someone who can handle the hukum or the position. Also, one of the things was going on is Dawla al-Fatimiyya, al-Ubaidiyya in Africa, in North Africa. And we said they were clearly against Ahl Sunnah in Al-Andalus, and they were supporting هذا عمرو بن حفصون or Umar bin Hafsun, the rebel in Grenada. Okay, which is exactly what they do today. هذول الروافض, exactly what they do in Iran to the regime in Syria. Same thing. So those al-Fatimiyin were supporting, or al-Ubaidiyyin as they call themselves, were supporting the rebel. We said هذا Umar bin Hafsun was Muslim and became Christian, and they were still funding him and supporting him to destroy the Sunnah in Qurtuba. People are mentally defeated after all this division. The Muslim world, the whole world is divided. The Abbasi dynasty is very weak. Muslim groups are divided all over the world. So at that moment, they needed someone strong in Al-Andalus. Okay? That 3 weeks old child is not qualified to be able to handle the situation. All the children of Abdullah bin Muhammad, we said Abdullah bin Muhammad is the last, the one who died in 300. All his children refused to take part. All his children refused to hold. What they're gonna deal with, The whole situation is unstable. And there is nothing for them to be concerned about, especially that life is easy. they've been enjoying the pleasures and the dunya and the money and very wealthy. So why are they going to be in charge? And then assassinations and politics, and so no one, kullu zahad, no one wanted or was interested. So they choose one of the grandkids of Abdullah bin Muhammad. Okay? And this is, we started talking about this last time at the end. They chose grandson of this Abdullah bin Muhammad with the name of Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Muhammad bin Abdul Rahman. ايش؟ لا، الأوسط. Okay? This person they chose was 22 years old. This person they chose was the son of the one who was killed by his brother. Remember, Muhammad was killed by Mutarrif. This one they chose, Abdul Rahman, was his child. Okay? And this person was raised by his grandfather, who was the Amir who just died in 300, Abdullah bin Muhammad. And he raised him Islamically, he raised him on bravery, he raised him with taqwa, he raised him with ilm, he raised him with courage, with adab. He taught him and he prepared him to be the good leader. So هذا Abdul Rahman will be known in the future as Abdul Rahman al-Nasir. Abdul Rahman al-Nasir. And we will see what he did. Allah Azza wa Jal gave him the tawfiq. He turned the whole thing upside down. As we said, he turned humiliation into honor, and defeat into victory, and weakness into strength. Allah Azza wa Jal put it on his hand. Allah Azza wa Jal, when he sees people sincere, that's what he does. Even though the situation and the conditions seems to be impossible to get up again or to rise again, but at the end Allah Azza wa Jal al-Muhit, and Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who's in charge. So this Abdul Rahman, what he did, the first thing he decided to get rid of Umar هذا bin Hafsun in Gharnat, because he's the strongest rebel. And we will see there were rebels all over the place. As we said, there was in Zaragoza, there was in Valencia, there was Julayqi in the west, everywhere. But this was the strongest right here in Gharnat, Amr or Samuel bin Hafsun. And the reason he was so strong, or because he was so strong, because Gharnata is a very strong city. The reason he was strong because he had support, okay, unlimited supplies, okay, from Fatimi in North Africa. And he had supplies from the Christian kingdoms in the north. Okay, and remember what we said, how they used to supply him. He used to go in the Atlantic here, go all the way, go in the Madiyaq Jabal Tariq, the Strait of Tariq, and go to him. And so he got all that support. Okay, so it was important to start with him. It was important to start with him. And add to all that, he was murtad. He was an apostate who left Islam. So immediately, Abdul Rahman al-Nasir moved his army from Qurtuba and started heading toward Gharnata. On the way, they got back Istijja, which is Siha, and that is a very strong fortress between Qurtuba and Ishbil, Seville. Also, he went to Samuel and he stayed there for 3 months. Okay? He surrounded Gharnata for 3 months, Sha'ban, Ramadan and Shawwal, and all this happening in the first year, 301 Hijr. 301 Hijr. He was able to get Ha'in or Jiyan, the city of Jiyan, and got back 70 fortresses from Samuel. 70 castles, okay? But as we said, Hafsun had that very strong. Supplies coming to him every single minute. So nothing will get him weak. So now the next step, and also he had supplies from Ishbili, from Al-Hajjaj. So he got from the north, from the south, and from Ishbili, the west. So Abd al-Rahman started thinking, how are we going to stop this man? Doesn't matter how long we fight him, he keeps getting replenished. Okay? So the best way to stop him is to stop the support. But he cannot fight the Christians or the Fatimiyin. So he moved south and he took over the strait. He got Tanja, Sibta, okay? He was able to control the Gibraltar Strait, which was the strait or the entrance for Al-Ubaidiyyin to bring support. It was the area, Shbilia, he will take down so easily. And it was the Christians who come all the way through Jabal Tar. So now he has control of this. He cut the supplies 100% from Hafsun, okay, from Hafsun. In the same year he goes to Ishbili, to Seville, okay? And easily, because those people are Muslims, and easily he conquers it, and he takes over. Then now he controls Ishbiliya. Now he cuts the last source of supply to somewhere through those mountains. Jibal Randa, around Malaka here, okay? Shduna Hari, and Qarmuna, all these things he takes over and he brings back to Dawla al-Umayyah. Obviously, the only thing Hafsun will do is what? Surrender. So he got a treaty with Abd al-Rahman. And the deal was, you leave me alone and I will give you 169 fortresses. Okay? And he agreed. Abd al-Rahman and Nasir agreed to that, even though now he's in power to crush him. But Abd al-Rahman and Nasir had many other stuff to worry about. This whole thing has to worry about. Khalas, this is under control. We have it under control. Now I need to worry about the rest. This whole was one state. Now it's divided. All he got is this, Qurt. When he took over, all he got, Qurt. This whole thing was Al-Andalus. Now Al-Andalus, all this but divided. Easy, pray for these states. And Fatimiyin here, they're looking to take over as well. They want to take over. That's why they were supporting Hafsun. Okay? So now he's here, he take over here, he take over here. That's it, he agrees with this guy, now he needs to worry about the rest. So at that time he started cleaning Qurtub, the capital. He started firing, hiring, putting the right people. He started supporting the ulama. He started spreading the ilm amongst the people. He started reviving the hope and ambition in the hearts of the Muslims after they lost hope. So he works in cleansing the system. He works in cleansing the system. And that's how things work. Allah Azza wa Jal established this fact in the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jal says in the beginning of Al-Baqarah, He said, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قالوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. بعدين وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسِ. ماشي؟ فبدأ بالنهي عن الإفساد قبل الإصلاح. فسئلوا why you spread corruption in the earth, before they were asked about why you don't believe. Because when you want to believe, you have to believe in a clean heart. You have to cleanse yourself. You have to get yourself rid of the jahiliyyah. You want a clear cup of water that has the cup has sand in it before. You clean the cup before you pour the water in it. You don't pour the water and then you decide, let's get the sand out. That's how things work. So that is how he did. He said, if I don't have power here, there is no way I can fix this. So that's exactly what he did. and he fixed the system. That's very much where we start last time. So now what we have Qurtuba, very much Gharnata, and Ishbiliya, and some places here and there. That's what he has to start with. Samuel is still strong. Okay? So now that the situation at this point, Samuel had still a little strong, but he has no supplies. There is revolution in Tulaytila here. Okay? Remember Tulaytila, Toledo? That was the capital of the Christians when the Muslims invaded the land. Tulaytila. Okay? One of the strongest places. So there were Muslims there. Now it's all Muslims here, except those Christians, but there is revolution right here in Tulaytila. There is revolution in Saragossa. There is revolution in Valencia. Okay? There is revolution in the west. Okay? As we said, Abdurrahman al-Julayqi. So in year 302, the year 302, Al-Andalus is divided into 6 major areas. 6 areas with 6 powers, 6 leaders. Okay? Abdurrahman al-Nasr, and then 5 other areas. Okay? So which direction are you going to take? Okay? هنا حفصون هذا under control. We have Saraqasta, we have Valencia, we have Tulaytila, and we have the west. ماشي? Now those are supposed to be part of Qurtuba. Qurtuba is the capital. So these are cities that should follow the central government in Qurtuba, Abdurrahman al-Nasr. So he started thinking, where should I start? Okay? So he surprises everyone. Where he goes? Yeah. He goes to the Christians. He goes to the Christians. Okay? He goes to the Christians right to Lyon. Mamlakat Lyon and part of the Sahara. Look, was here and look how we know. Okay? So straight he goes to Lyon. And he starts fighting the Christians, because as we said, this Lyon came and they took a city right here between Madrid and Saraqas. Right here, called Sail. Okay? So that means they interfered. There is a treaty between them and the Muslims. But they broke that, as they usually do. So he went and he fought them for 2 consecutive years. And he defeated them badly. Okay? He defeated the kingdom of Lyon. His intention was he wanted to show the rest of the Muslims who are the real enemies. That situation, he wanted to show everyone who the real enemy is. That put these people in these areas, people who started these revolutions, put them in very embarrassing situation with their people. Until you guys tell us we should revolt against this guy, and look what he's doing, he's trying to protect us. Because who's going to defend Tulaytila when they attack? So that started creating something in the hearts of people all over the place. That means this guy is concerned not about the land, he's concerned about protecting the people. So he started doing that over and over and fighting the Christians. In the year 304, he was coming back to Qurtuba, Valencia, or Sarqasta, Saragossa here, surrender. They come back to be under him. No fight, no war, nothing. Saragossa contact him, خلاص, we want to follow. No, he did not need to fight. In 3-6, Samuel dies. Christian. Okay? He dies. So Abdurrahman Nasr takes that as opportunity to take over Gharnata. He takes over and he gives the people in there 3 days to come back to Islam. Who refuses after 3 days gets killed. حد الردة. One of the people got killed was the door of somewhere. Okay? And now he has control over the whole south, the south of Al-Andalus. He goes to Toledo. He brings it back very easily. At that time, he was only 30 years old. What are 30 years old to do? At that time, he's 30 years old. He brings back Toledo. He sent a big army to the Christians again, and they have a great battle with them. He sent them to Navarre and to Lyon. And this ghazwa known as Mobish Kubra. Okay? A big battle between the Muslims and the Christians lasted 3 months, and he was able to bring back Salem. Okay? He brought back the city I told you about. In 312, take another group army to Navarre. Okay? Right here. And he defeats them, and he takes a city from them, Dandaluna, or Pamplona, and that he adds it to the Muslim lands. He takes another one to the east, okay? To the east right here, Sarqasta and all that, he adds it. He adds Sarqasta already, but this, remember Barcelona was lost, okay? He adds that back. He takes back that. He goes to the west, and he gets rid of Al-Julayf, and he brings back the west, which is in Portugal. This west here, that's in Portugal. He brings it back to his kingdom. After 16 years, Al-Andalus all becomes one country. 16 years. He brings back everything, and more, and more. Okay? After 16 years, 38 years old, he's at that point. He looks around the world. The Abbasiyin, very weak. Actually, Muqtadar Billah al-Khalifa gets killed by the Atrak. Okay? And Atrak themselves put another Abbasi as Khalifa, just as a picture, symbolic. Because they always felt the necessity to have a Khalifa. And always that figure usually disturbs the enemies. They understood that. So even though Atrak were in charge, yet they put a man Abbasi to be the Khalifa, just as the image, but they are ruling. So they put Al-Qadir Billah al-Abbasi to rule. Al-Fatimiyun in North Africa declared themselves as Khilafah. Okay? Shia, Fatimiyun here, declared themselves as Al-Khilafah al-Islamiyya, and they started calling themselves Umara al-Mu'mineen. So the ruler now, Amir al-Mu'mineen. And who started that name, that title? Umar ibn Khattab. Okay? So when he saw that, he said, I am more worthy of all these people. So he declared Al-Andalus as Khilafah. And he called himself Al-Khalifa, and that was the beginning of Al-Khilafah al-Umayyah. There was a big Khilafah Umayyah in the east, but now the big Khilafah, or the second Khilafah al-Umayyah in Al-Andalus. And this era of Al-Khilafah al-Umayyah in Al-Andalus lasts or goes between 316, when he finished everything and controlled everything, to 400. To 400. 316 to 400, 84 years it lasts, Khilafah al-Umayyah in Al-Andalus. In 319 Hijri, he goes to Jabal Tariq, to the strait, and he starts supporting the Sunni groups in North Africa. He did not want to go with his own army. Okay? So he starts supporting them against Al-Fatimiyya. In 322, Muhammad bin Hisham al-Tajibi, who was the governor on Zaragoza, okay, he betrays Abdul Rahman al-Nasir, and he allies himself with Lyon to fight Abdul Rahman al-Nasir. Okay? As a result, Abdul Rahman al-Nasir sends a very big army. Okay? with his own leadership, his own power. And they really defeat Lyon and Hadat Tajibi, big defeat. He brings all the generals of his armies here in Zaragoza, the traitors, and he slaughtered them. No joke. Tajibi hada comes back to Abd al-Rahman al-Nasir and apologizes that he made a mistake, this. So he forgives him and he keeps him in his position. By doing so, he gained the sympathy of the Tajibiyun who lived there, all these people. Until the end of Al-Khilafah Al-Umayyah, there was no revolution in Zaragoza at all. Nothing happens after that. So he dealt with it. He showed that he's strong, and at the same time he showed that mercy and intelligence in siyasa, qiyasa and fann al-siyasa. Okay. In 325, I guess I rushed the events, he attacks Aragon. He brings it to Al-Andalus. Okay? Of course, these people surrender. They start paying the jizya. Okay? They surrender and they start paying the jizya. In 327, his army reached 100,000 soldiers. 100,000 soldiers today, as I said before, is a big army today. So here you're talking about 1,000 years ago, and his army is 100,000, and Al-Andalus is united. He went to Lyon again, and he had a huge battle in Zamora, okay, called Mawqa'at al-Khandaq, or somewhere right here, okay, with the Christians. Now what happened this time? Exactly what happened in Hunayn. He went, and his army went, relying on their numbers and their power. They forgot the submission that they used to make to Allah to give them victory. So he hits there with 100,000 soldiers. وَيَوْمَ حُنَيْنٍ إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ فَلَمْ تُغْنِ عَنْكُمْ شَيْئًا. He goes with 100,000, he loses 50,000. 50,000 Muslims in his army get killed. He gets defeated, he runs back to Cordoba with the rest of his army. But he was smart, as we said. He regrouped, okay? He admitted his mistake. He realized what he did. He took the shura and he fixed the situation. Okay, and he started rebuilding again. And he started attacking those Christian kingdoms. Attacking from 329 to 335. He kept attacking until the Christians realized they cannot do that anymore. Else we cannot, this guy is not going to leave us alone. Okay? So they decided to give the jizya. They started to surrender and pay the taxes that they will be charged. And we talked about the issue of the taxes before, and it was 1 dinar per person who can fight. There is no jizya for women or children or sick people or old people. It was 1 dinar per person who can fight. And that 1 dinar for him not to fight if he's attacked. The Muslim armies will take the responsibility to defend him. And there is no person will refuse. And if you're a Muslim, you're going to pay 2.5%. Now you're paying only 1 dinar. And whoever cannot pay from amongst the non-Muslims, he actually gets supported by the Muslim government. When they talk about jizya, they have no idea what they're talking about. Okay? So the king of Lyon does that, surrenders and pay the jizya. They follow him, the king of Navarre and the king of Aragon. Okay? Completely they do the same thing. So they paid the jizya to Abd al-Rahman Nasir from 350 335 to 350. 15 years. 350 is when he dies. Rahimahullah. So they keep paying the jizya for 15 years, and some people, لا تردعهم إلا القوة. That's the only language they understand. This is the political aspect of his khilafah, his era, the political aspect. But that's not the whole thing. He did not neglect other stuff. So let's see what he did. أنشأ هياكل إدارية على أعلى المستويات. He created an administration system. وزارات, ministries. And each wizara has its own minister. And each minister has his own people working under him. That's what he established. He built a big city in Qurtuba, okay? And he called it Medinat al-Zahra. Medinat al-Zahra. Shamal al-Gharbi. Shamal al-Gharbi, he built this city, huge city. For what? He made it like the political capital, okay? He built this city on 3 levels. The first level will be the workers, the employees for the government. Second level will be the ministers and the ambassadors and all that. And the third level, a palace for him. Qasr al-Hukm. Okay? He built it from nothing. To build this city, he brought stuff from all over the world. From Constantinople, Istanbul, from Italy, from Baghdad, from Tunis, from Europe. And he really took care of it. Okay? He built, as we said, Qasr al-Zahra, the palace of the Zahra. Okay? A place once that people from all over the world will go to see that palace. The city of Qurtuba expanded so much that the population became or reached 500,000 people. And that made it the second biggest city in the world at that moment or at that time, after Baghdad, in the Muslim world. After Baghdad. Baghdad was 3 million. Okay? So that made Qurtuba the second largest city in the Muslim world. What was in Qurtuba at that time? 13,000 houses. And of course each house has its own garden. Houses, real houses. Not townhomes and all this, apartments. Real houses, separate. It had 28 suburbs, Qurtuba. 28 Dahiya. It had 3,000 masjid. Qurtuba. 3,000 masjid. And of course, Masjid Qurtuba. Okay? Masjid Qurtuba. It was يعني آية. آيات المعمار الإسلامي. Masjid Qurtuba. Now it's a church. Allah understand. Masjid Qurtuba was marbles. He got marbles to build it. Actually, the taqa, which people call today mihrab, which is not accurate naming, but mihrab, where the imam stands, was one piece oyster shell. Was an oyster shell, one piece. Okay? So, marble oyster shell. He built zoos. هذا حيوان. هذا حيوان. He built مسارح للطيور. Birds, gardens, or birds. Bring them all from all over the world. In the military aspect, as we said, he built a marine fleet of 200 ships. 200 ships. His army, as we said, reached 100,000. He built factories for weapons. All these, why I mention this, is because you have to know any state or any nation that expect to rise cannot be dependent on other nations who try to put it down. Impossible. The rise of states in history, the rise of of states and countries. They rise when they become self-sufficient. And how I can fight my enemy, and I need water from him. I buy water from him. People come to say, why Jordan doesn't fight Israel? Jordan buys water from Israel. Jordan buys water from Israel. How can you fight without water? Yeah, there is the Jordan River. Jordan buys water from Israel. I understand. Okay. Iqtisadiyan, economically, he took care of agriculture. That's very significant. You cannot feed your people, you cannot win. Too much fruits. Fruits were everywhere. He took care of farming cotton, kittan, flax, qamh, wheat. He took care of bringing mining gold and silver and copper. He took care, all these productions flourished and prospered in his time. Leathers, ships, weapons, medicine. He built many marketplaces, and they were specialized marketplaces. Souk al-Dahab, Souk al-Nihasa, market for gold, market for fruits, market. This is in Europe, in the Dark Ages. Europe is next door. In Dark Ages, they still don't even know how to clean themselves. That's what was going on in Al-Andalus. Seriously. Okay? Reached the budget of Al-Andalus at that time, 6 million dinar. Okay? 6 million dinar. Dinar is gold, out of gold, And he used to divide it as his grandfather used to divide. Remember Abdurrahman Dakhil? One third. 1/3 to take care of the expenses of the government. 1/3 to strengthen the army, and 1/3 saved, just in case. Even police at the security level, he created police, specialized police. Police for the day, police for the night, Coast Guard, police for the marketplace. All this happening at that time. He established appeal courts. Appeal courts. That time. Of course, all that under the umbrella of the Sharia. He's doing all that under the umbrella of the Sharia. When they tell you Sharia cannot handle all of that, there were people living from different religions, Christians and Jews, and they were all happy. He took care. Took care of the library of Qurtuba. He paid attention, too much attention to the ilm. So he really expanded and took care of the library. At that time, when there was no printing, the library of Qurtuba had 400,000 books. 400,000 books. Actually, there were new professions being invented. One of them, Nasakhun. Nasakh. You want a book, you come to someone that's his profession, Nasakh, copy of that. He's like a copy machine. You tell him, I want this book, I want a copy of this book. You agree on the price, he'll go to the library, get the book, copy it for you, and give it to you. Okay? Another profession, al-bahithin, researchers. You want, because in ilm now prospering and flourishing and too much attention to the ilm, so there is research, fuqaha. They didn't have computers and one click and everything comes out. No, he needs people to search for him. I want to search in this issue, I want to search in this subject, in medicine, in this. All that took place, and that is important to know your stuff. At the political level, international level, at the international level, his reputation was throughout, everywhere. Okay, safarat of the country started coming to him to build rapport and relationship with him. Obviously, we said the northern kingdoms of the Christians were happy with him. We said 15 years, they respected the agreement and paying the jizya عن يد وهم صاغرون. Safarat from Germany, from Italy, from France, England, Byzant, right, all the way in the east, the Christian kingdom in the east. They all sent him ambassadors to seek, to give him the allegiance and loyalty, give him gifts and all that. He received a letter from the King of England. Okay? Listen to this. He received a letter from the King of England asking him if he would allow 4 students from England to come and study in the library of Porto. Okay? He sends a letter to Abdul Rahman al-Nasir asking him if he would give the permission for 4 students from England to come and study in Porto. His letter, he signs it, the King of England signs it, خادمكم المطيع ملك إنجلترا. Your loyal servant, the King of England. أي والله أيام نبكي، نجلس نبكي، كم تبكوا يلا. هاي. Now but he goes home and brags, I went to Oxford. Right? خلاص عارف الدنيا. تلك الأيام نداولها بين الناس. دول. دنيا دول. دول مش country. دول. يوم لك يوم عليك. دائرة تدور. Cycle. You respect and you fulfill the conditions, your دولة. هذه الدولة لك. يوم لك. You give it up, and you do not fulfill those laws from Allah Azza wa Jal. Sunnah. Not the Sharia laws necessarily, I'm talking about. Laws, universal laws. نواميس. You give up on that. دولة تحت. مهزوم. You're defeated. You're down. Okay? So when they fulfill that, look what happens. خادمكم المطيع ملك إنجلترا. Now all we know about Ingilterra is Rumenica or whatever his name. You guys know Rumenica? That's Almani, لا؟
You're so old school,
روني ما شاء الله عليك. جيبوا له هدية. هذا الله. Okay. So Abdul Rahman هذا, Abdul Rahman al-Nasir, with no doubt was one of the greatest rulers and leaders. Actually in 1961, Spain celebrated his day, his death. 1,000 years on his death, since his death. 1960. Spain. Because he made it the greatest kingdom in the world. And Muslims don't even know this man. Muslims don't even know who he is. And they made it a day for him. And let's not be fooled and think that they love Muslims or anything. Be wrong. So he ruled from 300 to 350. Because we will see later on how much they love Muslims. When they take over. Oh, they love them so much. So they ruled from 300 to he ruled from 300 to 350. 50 years, rahimahullah azza wa jal. Add to all that, كان سريع الرجوع إلى ربه. He did not lose that connection with Allah azza wa jal. ماشي? All this he did, he didn't say, well, I'm busy making a country for you. He did not lose that connection with Allah azza wa jal. So if we cannot be Abdul Rahman al-Nasir, we should try to make our children Abdul Rahman. It's not far. It's not hard. It takes hearts. So he was always connected with Allah. One of the incidents that took place, they had a drought in Al-Andalus. Drought, no rain. People need rain all that. So they brought the people out for Salat al-Istisqa. Salat al-Istisqa, usually you do it fil khala, outside. And we said, you remember Al-Mundhir bin Sa'id, his imam. بلش مشاعر. الله السلام عليكم. بلش من هسه. سيف. بس هذا سيف سلمي. ها؟ Doesn't cut, doesn't. لا يروح بعدين weapons of mass destruction. أنت عارفهم يا شيخ. Alright. So Al-Mundhir bin Sa'id هذا was an imam, remember? Huh? So they wait till Amir doesn't come. Usually these people, they are the ones who used to lead the salah. So he sent some guy, he tells him, go check on the Amir. Why he's late. So هذا الغلام comes and he finds Abdul Rahman al-Nasir outside, wearing wool, sitting in the ground, crying to the point where his beard is wet. And he says, يا رب هذه ناصيتي بيدك أتراك تعذب الرعية وأنت أحكم الحاكمين يا رب لن يفوتك شيء منها. يعني he's blaming himself for the whole thing. He said, oh Allah, my forehead in your hand. يعني I'm in the where can I run away from you? Are you going to punish the people because of me? And you're the wisest of all. If it's about me, I cannot run away from you. You know? The leader must think that way. You are in charge of people, you must think that way. Remember Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu sit and say, I'm worried that a camel will trip in Baghdad and Allah will ask me, Ya Umar, why you didn't pave the road for it? Khalas. People don't understand this position, including the leaders we got. Your leader, everyone under you, responsible, your responsibility. There's no escape. Every penny. Khayy. When you hear, oh, they're coming and spending this money and shopping and this, everything they will be asked about. So this slave or the guy, the ghulam, goes back to Al-Mundhir bin Sa'id. He tells him that's what he was saying. So he said, Rahimahullah, Ya ghulam abshir, faqad adina Allah ta'ala bis-suqya. إذا خشع جبار الأرض فقد رحم جبار السماء. He came and he told him how he found the king or the Khalifa. He told him that's the good news. Allah will send the rain down. If the king of the earth surrenders or submits or humbles himself, the king in the heavens will show his mercy. Abdul Rahman al-Nasir rahimahullah died the year 350 as we said, and he was 72 years old. He died 350 and he was 72 years old. Life of al-jihad and life of serving the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal and serving the people. In his safe, they found a piece of paper. He wrote on it, كم يوما صفى له من غير كدر. He wrote on it, how many days of his life were peaceful, without any stress, without any something to spoil his day. They counted 14 days. 14 days. of 72 years. Those are the people that Allah Azza wa Jal gives الإمامة for on earth. ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة نجعلهم ألا بالصبر واليقين تنال الإمامة في الدين. عبد الرحمن الناصر dies and he puts his son after him. الحكم بن عبد الرحمن الناصر. Okay? هذا لقب الحكم المستنصر بالله, who's seeking victory from Allah. That's a title. Okay? So he takes over after his father. He rules from 350 to 366. 16 years. Okay? When he took over, he was 47 years old. He was like his father. وَمَنْ شَابَهَ أَبَاهُ مَا ضَلَّ. They used to call him عاشق الكتب. He used to love books. Okay? He used to love books and ilm. Was one of the ulama. He built المكتبة الأموية, the Umayyad library, the greatest library in the Middle Ages, competed with the library of Qurtuba and the library of Baghdad, Vatican. Baghdad. They're busy doing something else in Vatican. He brought books from all over the world to this library. Books. Wherever he hears there is a book, an important book, he will send money to buy it, original. He used to pay thousands of dinanir to collect this book. He bought the original copy of a book called Al-Aghani, Al-Asfahan, Kitab Adab. Okay? He brought the original, the first copy. He used to have people, employees, their business or their job just to travel all over the world to bring those books. Okay? الحياة حلوة. Life is good. So let's do something with it. They bring in books in medicine, in handis and engineering, in deen, anything. Immediately, if it's not in Arabic, gets translated. So people can benefit from it. The job that we said, the profession of copying, became spread and all over, especially amongst the women. And Andalusiyat were known, the women Al-Andalus were known for their beautiful handwriting. So the women are copying and learning, and the men are out there fighting and building. صناعة الورق والتجليد, okay, became so famous. Production of papers and book binding and all that became famous in Al-Andalus. Even the popes in Europe used to come to Al-Andalus to buy the papers so they can write their Bibles on it. طبعا if you sell papers and they come to buy them, so okay. He expanded the library of Qurtuba, okay, and he established the job of teachers. The ulama and the teachers then, he's a guy has his own profession outside, and in the evening comes and teach the people. He told them, quit and just sit and teach, and we will spend on it. هذا sponsoring the ulama is part of this deen. Sponsoring the students of knowledge and the people of ilm, to teach the people. He expanded the library physically, built many hallways, so people can have more space to study. He increased education so much. That's we're talking about 1,000 years ago. Education was so important. People start learning writing and reading. He established schools for free, especially for the poor people, for free. Completely, illiteracy disappeared in London. There was no illiterate people. everyone could read and write. What's the illiteracy today in the Arab world? Yes, something like that. And I thought 70. Last number I heard, 70%. 70% of Muslims in the Arab world can't write or read. How are these people going to teach their kids that? There's illiteracy, yeah, so there's illiteracy in America. Who cares about America? No, we're not talking about America. Now we're talking about Ummat Iqra. We're talking about an Ummah that the first word revealed to it was read. And you know Cuba has zero illiteracy. Cuba. Castro went to the people and closed the schools for a year. University schools closed for 1 year. And he told everyone who can read and write, go and find people who cannot read and write and teach them, and I'll pay. Cuba. Okay? So the point is, reading and writing is very significant. And those people understood the importance. At that, busy with that, the Christians in the north thought, some busy reading and writing, let's attack. So they decided to attack some of the Muslim lands. He sent them an army and he exterminated. He destroyed it. So yes, he was busy with these things, but he did not neglect the other stuff. He did not neglect the other stuff. Guess what? He started fighting Fatimiyya in North Africa. Al-Andalus now spreads North Africa. Now he takes North Africa from Fatimiyya. Okay? Let's have a man of him. He got ambushed. So كل بلاد المغرب started becoming part of Al-Khilafah Al-Umayyah in Al-Andalus. He ruled from 350 to 366. This period known as the strongest period of Muslims in Al-Andalus. Okay? Between 350, of course it's his father who built it, but he fortified it and made it stronger. 350 to 366 Hijri is the strongest period in general for the Muslims in Al-Andalus. Okay? In 366, he dies. Okay? He dies. But Jalla man la yashur. He leaves with one big mistake. He leaves with one big mistake. Toward the end of his life, يصاب بالفالج. حفظكم الله. فالج يعني الشلل. Get paralyzed. فيستخلف ابن. So he says, once I die, my son is a Khalifa. So he puts his son Hisham bin Hakam bin Abdul Rahman Nasr as the Khalifa after him. Hisham هذا was 12 years old. ما في أحد gets saved from the devil. Why he wants to keep running in his family. He puts his son Hisham, 12 years old, to be the Khalifa after him. Okay? And that's perhaps the downfall, from that moment on, the downfall of the Muslims in Lebanon. Yes, they're going to have uprise, and we're going to have control and taking back. It will never be like before. Okay? It will continue to be strong. But this decision started paving the road into the collapse. Even though the next period is very strong. And the one who's going to take over is very strong. But this is the seed that we will start seeing down hell after that. So inshallah, we'll stop here and we'll see what happens next time with Hisham al-Hakam, and the next era will be called المرحلة أو الدولة العامرية. We'll see what happens. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم صلى الله على سيدنا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, we take this chance to congratulate Brother Abu Firas and his son Firas and their families for the newborn. نقول كما علمنا بورك في الموهوب وشكرت الواهب وبلغ أشده ورزقت بره وجعل خيرا على أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم.